Hello, everybody. Welcome back to EduTap. So, after the initial hustle of phase one, we are again meeting for you, second time in the day, because this is historic, I think. In the same day, we are doing the analysis for phase one. Now, we are doing the analysis for phase two. I think this is happening for the very first time in the regulatory bodies domain. So, I formally welcome you all towards this initial reaction for NPS Grade A and Grade B phase two. Now in phase two, we all know that there are only two papers, paper one and paper two. Paper one this time is quite unique for all of us because the name of paper one was Descriptive English and Journal Studies. And in paper two, we all know that we were expecting 50 questions, and yes, 50 questions were asked, which you all have to solve in the objective format. So let's do the initial reaction. Let's take the initial inputs from our faculty members, starting from Narveer sir. Narveer sir, first of all, give us the clarity related to paper one of phase two, because this time it was quite unique for all of us to see the word journal studies. So, is there any bounce back? Is there any kind of googly played by NPS, or was the paper easy, or was the paper expected? What was it?
Good afternoon to you, sir, and I
Mm.
wish all your exam, all I mean, all to all the candidates. I hope
Mhm.
your paper went well, sir. See, descriptive English, and as you said, this was a unique paper we have seen for the
Mm.
first time, and this was actually introduced for the first time this year.
Mm.
So we were not expecting anything. We didn't know what they are going to throw at the aspirants because they had not mentioned anything at all. What
Yes.
they could ask in this exam. So it was just a needle in the haywire. But still, we at least could guess that essay would definitely be there. Students were thinking, sir, in general studies, they could be asking questions and whatnot, and they did that.
Mm.
So what the pattern this year is, and this has basically set the benchmark for the upcoming years as well. There were three questions. First question, which was an essay based on your general studies. So there were two topics, and you had to choose one out of them. The word limit was 450 to 500 words, and the weightage was 40 marks. Then
Okay.
second essay, that was based on descriptive English now. They're not mentioned anything. It was left blank, but we can assume it was based on English, descriptive English. Again, there was second essay. There were two topics, two choices given, and again the same. The word limit was 450 to 500 words, and the weightage was again 40 marks. And the third question was letter writing, which we did not expect. See, essays we were expecting. I believe there could be one Pressy or there could be one reading comprehension, but they surprised everyone because they had not mentioned business communication or formal communication in the official handout. So this was
Mm.
a googly for the students. But I hope students who were enrolled with us, we had provided letter writing, report writing, even Pressy writing, everything that could be there in the exam. We had provided those videos to the students in our courses, and
Mm.
hopefully they had gone through that, and hopefully they learned how to write a formal letter. So third question
So,
was on letter writing. There were two choices given, and you had to choose one out of them. Both the letters were formal. Basically, they were business letters, and the word limit was 200 to 220 words, and the weightage was 20 marks. So all in all, if somebody had experience of preparing for NABARD, because NABARD asks letter, or somebody who has an experience of preparing for any banking exam, for
Mhm.
example SBI or BPS, would be able to do
Mhm.
okay in this exam. But looking at the topics, I can say one has to have some experience of writing answers on a regular basis. I mean, within 1 hour you have to write around, sir, give or take 1100 words, which is a challenge in itself. So if somebody tried to meet the word limit, I mean, he would not be able to complete the paper in time, right? So
Right.
if I believe if somebody is writing around 300 to 350 words for essays and 150, 175 words for letter, that should do it, right?
Right.
Because that is what you can how that is how much one can write in 60 minutes itself. Because we have
Mhm.
seen 60 minutes in SEBI, we have seen 60 minutes in PFRDA. There are other exams as well, which are conducted on
Mhm.
the same pattern, but the the questions that they ask are different. One essay, one Pressy, one letter, or maybe in place of letter they could ask reading comprehension. But we've never seen this: two essays and one letter in 60 minutes. So this was a challenge for the students, I believe.
And this was unconventional also, sir, because two essays is a very, very big pain which students would have taken,
Absolutely, absolutely. Writing
right?
everything from the scratch, thinking on the
And
moment, spur of the moment, and all that.
over here, sir, if my understanding is right, there was one essay based on the topics of journal study,
Yes,
and one essay was just journal essay. This,
yes,
am I comprehending it right?
absolutely, sir.
Right. Any, sir, further clues that what was the topic of the essay based on the topics of journal studies?
So in general studies, the topics
Mm,
that were given were initiatives India has taken for education and upskilling or skill
mm,
development in the wake of global challenges and opportunities.
mm.
So that was, yeah, I mean, based on general studies, it looks like a general studies question
Yep.
nonetheless, but
Mm,
we do tackle such questions for English as well. In for
right.
exams like RBI, NABARD, right,
Mm,
SEBI, in such exams also such questions are given under descriptive English only. So if somebody had prepared with
mhm.
us for descriptive English, he would have been able to answer these questions. Second topic
Right.
that was given as a choice for general studies was how financial inclusion has contributed
Mm,
to growth and transformation of banking sector in India. So it was
right.
based on banking sector specifically.
Okay.
So
But
that
still, I
these were the
see,
two
sir, when it
topics.
comes to education and like employment, unemployment are like evergreen
Very general,
topics.
very generic topics, right? You
Right.
can connect the dots and
Mm,
you can create,
mm.
something out there. If you are in the habit of doing it,
Yep.
then only you would be able to do it, right?
Yes. But still, I would count this particular thing as the world, like it's a totally new thing which we have seen altogether.
Absolutely,
Two essays in one
absolutely.
paper, and letter is quite again new because we were telling to our
Hmm.
students that we are expecting RC and Presi because they have not
Pressy,
even
right?
mentioned any other type of question, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. So, what will be your overall difficulty level analysis? Easy, moderate, or
See,
tough?
and looking at the new pattern
Uh,
of questions and
mm,
looking at the, some of the topics that are
mm,
given in letter. I mean, letter are
mm.
actually challenging, sir. The topics, they're not like write a letter to
Right.
bank manager to open a bank account. They have properly
Mm-hmm.
mentioned scenarios in letters, which are actually, you need some thought process into it. Like in
Mm-hmm.
one letter, they've asked to create a business plan because
Okay.
as if, I mean, the topic was you plan to start a business and become an entrepreneur, write a letter
Mm,
presenting a business plan and present it to a potential investor whom you met with in a networking event so that you can
okay.
gain investors favor in your business. So that is the
Okay.
letter you have to write. So you have to
So,
create a potential business plan right on the spot. Like how would
right.
you pitch it to the
Mm,
investor, right? So it has to be a mega plan, something
mm,
not micro, probably medium enterprise or maybe somewhat some micro enterprise also. So that needs a lot of brainstorming, right?
right.
And the second topic that was given was the project you are supervising has hit a
Mm-hmm.
roadblock. So you had to write a letter to your manager asking for permission to take up an action or an activity that can resolve that issue or roadblock. So again, you
Okay.
have to create the scenario from the scratch yourself,
Mm,
right? And you can't just create a scenario that
mm-hmm.
I lost my computer is not working, so that's the roadblock. You can't do that. You're a manager, right? So
Right.
it has to look like a problem, and plus they also
Mm,
want to see how solution oriented you are. So they're
right.
giving
Right.
you
Right.
to choose the problem yourself and the solution as also yourself.
Mm,
So that is critical. Again, and looking at the two essays, the essays on English, they were also not easy.
mm.
The topics that were given for essays were write down the importance of networking and how connectivity benefits one's career,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And the other
Mm,
topic was children should be motivated to participate in voluntary activities so that they can enhance potential growth and community engagement. This was okay.
mm-hmm.
This was doable. But
Right.
again, see, so for a surprise for the first time, if you're facing
Mm,
such questions, it would be challenging. So I will not call it easy at any point of time.
mm,
Maybe not moderate even.
mm.
Let's put it
Call it
a notch
difficult.
above that. Right, right. Let's call it difficult.
So the breaking news right now is that Narveer sir has given difficult tag to the English paper because first is the unpredictability, second is the type of question which they have asked, and third is the on that particular moment itself, all the students have to devise their plan that what they will write. Cool. So like we will come with detailed analysis for paper one also. We will release a separate video for that. Now, sir, allow me to move towards Jaskaran sir. Jaskaran sir, please give us some insights related to your components, economics, Companies Act, Indian Trust Act, and finance also.
Yes, sir. As far as the discussion with the students is concerned, we have received
Mm,
7 questions from economic section, and the
mm,
information is that based on the analysis of those questions, I can say that the difficulty level was somewhere moderate.
mm,
Why I'm saying so? Because basically there were few easy questions also. For example, one question was asked very much straightforward, that which of the following is a demand pull inflation, which we
right.
keep on discussing in the classes. Very basic thing regarding inflation. Then
Mm, mm,
there was another question related to money supply regarding the M1 formula. So that question was also there. Then one
Mm.
question was asked from the tax also, that the immediate impact of tax on goods. So such type of basic questions were there. Apart from that, I would say one question that I would say that was there a bit confusing in language, but I would say a student who has done thorough studies with respect to economics should be comfortable with that. So I
Mm.
would say in an at the end I would say that the difficulty level was moderate in nature with respect to
For
economics.
economics, right?
Yes,
Cool.
and also the questions were one-liner. There, normally what we see in other competitive exams is that they try to twist their questions by complicating the language. But over here, the question was very much straightforward, one-liner. Either you know the
Okay.
answer or
Or
you
you
have to
don't know.
skip it.
Right. So paper level for economics was kind of moderate, but some
Yes,
questions were easy also, and some questions were typically economics oriented because they were like options which were confusing if I'm wrong. Right. So
yes,
that's
yes.
the analysis for economics. Now let's move to Companies Act.
So regarding Companies Act, many
Hmm.
students have said that they were very much uncomfortable with Company Act because the options in this
Hmm.
paper, many students have told me that the options were very confusing. And for
Okay.
example, they were asking a lot of factual details in the Company Act, that
Hmm.
regarding the qualification of the managing director, also sort of things. So
Hmm.
the information was, I would say, very much factual in nature, and
Hmm.
students find it difficult to retain so much of factual information,
And
and that's
Ye-
a problem.
Right. So Companies Act has always been factual only, but I think Companies Act was more confusing because this time I think they have asked not the fact like the data which was totally in numbers, rather they are asking you questions based on statement if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
that made
yes.
Companies Act also a tough section to attempt. But
And
what about Indian Trust Act? This is a completely new topic which they have added. So were there any many questions on Indian Trust Act or was that easy?
so just like phase one only, in phase two also there was one question only. In phase one also they
Okay.
asked one question. Here also there was single question regarding the
Hmm.
person who accepts the confidence and holds the property for the benefit of others is called what. So they are just asking
Okay.
about the term, and the answer is trustee. So that's the
Okay.
answer. So
So
very
basically one
straightforward.
liner question.
Just one liner question was
Right.
there, and only
Hmm.
single question was asked from
Hmm.
this Indian Trust Act.
Hmm. Now, sir, talk to me regarding finance also. Like, what do you conclude in finance?
Sir, regarding finance, I would say that eight questions were asked as far as our interaction is concerned.
Hmm.
And based on the interaction and the level of questions, I would say finance was somewhere between moderate to difficult. Why I'm saying difficult? Because I would say two questions were numerical based questions. Two numericals were asked, one from the buyback related concept, and another one was related to calculating the security premium. Something
Hmm.
was like that was there. We are yet to confirm it, but as far as the information is concerned, two questions were asked as a part of it. I mean, under the numericals.
Mhm.
Apart from that,
Right.
few easy questions were also there. For example, one question was related to financial inclusion. Then a straightforward question was asked regarding FRBM Act, because FRBM Act is directly mentioned in the syllabus. So very basic question was asked from it. So that's why I'm saying that most of the questions were of moderate
Hmm.
level. Few numerical based questions and one
Hmm.
or two twisted questions were, I would say, difficult.
Right. So one big highlight which I would like to bring to all to students is that in the set of 50 questions, only two numericals were there. One numerical,
Yes.
as Jaskaran sir said, was buyback related. You have to calculate something related to buyback. And the second question was related to the amount to be transferred to security premiums reserve, something like that. We are yet to collect the full question. This is just the initial reaction which we are giving to all of you. Now, my friends, in the entire set of 50 questions which we have seen so far, economics is moderate, Indian Trust Act is just one question, Companies Act, how many questions you have said, Jaskaran sir?
Five to six question.
5 to 6. Now, allow me to move ahead towards management. Management, as far as the information which is concerned right now, 5 questions have been asked. Motivation, LD for ERG theory was tested. Whistleblowing, you have to identify what is whistleblowing. One theory was related to leadership contingency theory. One question was related to biasness, which comes into your mind once you see any stimuli. And then there was some question related to conceptual skill as well. We are yet to collect the questions. This is just the theme around the question. Okay. But management on a large, if I see, is again moderate level because you are getting questions like whistleblowing and LDFR ERG, which is quite easy to do. Okay, but some questions like biasness, conceptual skills can take your time. So that's why we are putting management in moderate level. Okay. Now moving from management to pension. Now, this is a pension oriented exam only. So, in pension, I can see that 7 to 8 questions have been asked. 7 to 8 questions for pension, and the difficulty level of this particular component is yet to be ascertained. Why? Because we are still collecting the questions. But on a large, it seems like the pension component is again on a moderate level, but this is yet to be confirmed. And in pension, what we have seen is that they are asking you some topics related to current affairs also, like global pension index, global pension report. What is the status of India with respect to this particular report? They have also asked you new pension scheme, which we all know, unified pension scheme, right? Type of annuity, rule of 69, rule of 49 rather, which was released in 1972 for pension calculation. So if you see on a large, when it comes to pension, 7 questions, management 5 questions, good to go. Last but not the least is your commerce and accounts. In commerce and accounts, they are asking you questions which are based on accounting standards. To my surprise, 3 questions have been appeared from accounting standards itself. In ratios, they are telling you that which of the following is not a profitability ratio. So, which is again very, very easy. We all know gross profit ratio, net profit ratio, and whatnot are already there in your profitability ratios. We will come with the exact answer key by 6 p.m. today. Wait for it. And for investment, there was one question related to investment also in commerce and accounts. So this is a big analysis which is coming out of the initial reaction. Management, pension, and commerce and account are kind of moderate level, and the big highlight is that out of 50 questions, only 2 numericals were asked, and rest other 48 questions were theory based only. Now, allow me to move ahead again to Jaskaran sir to take some insights from data analytics and statistics. So, many students were worried that data analytics and statistics are very, very tough. But what is the overall analysis, or what is the initial reaction which you would like to share?
So there is no analysis for, I would say, DA paper, because no questions was asked with respect to it, both in phase one as well
Right.
as phase two. If students
In
were very much worried about it,
Sir,
and
I
because
think
of the
in
time limitation.
data analytics, one question was there in phase one, which was related to box. Okay,
Yes,
that
one
box
box
plotter.
based question. Yes,
Right.
yes.
So only one question has been asked from data analytics, that too in phase one. In phase two, at this particular junction, the students which we have talked to, they are telling us that there is no question which has been come from data analytics. All the questions are coming from statistics. And so, what are the questions which you have able to get from the students related to statistics?
Regarding statistics question, many students have said that this question was easy. Questions were not very much complicated. For example, they have asked questions from topics like correlation, then standard error, then regarding significance level also. So I would say is most of the questions were easy, but there were moderate level questions also. Fine. So it
Okay.
depends, of course, depends on the level of the preparation of the aspirant also.
Hmm.
At one time, one aspirant could find a question easy, but for the other aspirant, it could be a
They
difficult
are
type of
tough.
question. So it may
Right.
vary, but overall,
Hmm.
I would say easy to moderate is the overall difficulty level of the stats.
Cool. So, students who are fearing from stats and data analytics, I think your fear is not true. Your fear was not true, rather, but the students who have faced difficult time in paper one, because in paper one the questions were quite unconventional. Two essays in one paper is the first time I'm seeing in the history. So let's see what will go on. Like let's see that how people have performed. We will increase our sample size also. We will talk to multiple students. But at this particular junction, phase 2 is conducted. Paper 1 is difficult. Paper 2 on a large is currently looking moderate to difficult. Okay, moderate to difficult, because we are assuming that many students have studied about NPS in the last 20 to 25 days only, because NPS gave very less number of days to study. So that's why we are terming paper 2 as moderate to difficult. Now, first, in just 15 more minutes, we will do our analysis for paper 1, and then we will again come with a detailed analysis with answer key for paper 2 as well. But till then, let's end this particular session. Initial reaction is done. Many inputs have been collected from the initial reaction. Thank you, Jaskaran sir, for joining me. And thank you for all the students who have been there in this particular session. You can also contribute the questions by mailing us on hello@edutap.co.in.